The following video is brought to you by the guys at the Wrecking and Racing Podcast, a NASCAR podcast made by the fans for the fans. Check them out at www.wreckingandracing.com, facebook.com/wreckingandracing, and Twitter at Wrecking and Racing.
Welcome back, guys, to another episode of NASCAR Racing 2K3 with the 2019 Monster Energy Cup Series mod. This week we're in California. Huge track, very fast, a little slick, can be a little aero sensitive. Definitely can't run very well if you sustain any damage, so definitely want to try to keep our nose clean here today. Decent starting spot, looks like we're in row 5 here, so starting about 9th place. So again, as we do every week, basically run a 3x wear factor on fuel and tires, so we'll see how that impacts us today. Coming off the turn 4 there, about to take the green flag, waiting for the flagman. There it is, green flag is out, so put the hammer down. You can see Saka up there on the outside roll. Looks like he was outside pole position, so good on him, although he's fallen back a little bit here on the start. Be real easy going into turn 1 here, basically. Tire temperatures aren't up yet, so be real careful. Make sure the car doesn't come around on us. It'll be real loose these first couple laps till the tire temperatures come up. Saka has a nice run off of turn 2 down into 3 here, and I've got a mirror full of AI behind me, 3 wide. Don't want to do anything too crazy here on these first few laps. Just kind of feel the car out, let it get up to temperature essentially, and see if we can maintain our top spot here in the top 4 or 5. Saka drives it in deep and washes up a little bit there. We'll be a little conservative. It's going to get around the 34. Mr. McDowell having a good run here. Speaking of runs, we got a good one on the inside, so we'll capitalize on that. Take it to the inside of him. See if we can pull up on the back bumper of Jimmy Johnson there in the Ally Chevrolet. Still got a car on our outside, I believe. No, we don't. We're clear. Alright, so coming to the start-finish line to complete lap 2. I would guess that we'll probably pit about halfway through. That'll give us about, decent run, decent life out of the tires. We don't want to go into the run too far to where we're, basically slow as molasses and losing time to the AI or Saka. Saka will probably be our biggest competition here. Real careful, got stuck on the outside here, got to run out of 4. So we'll just kind of maintain here. Like I said, not going to do anything too crazy, but just enough to kind of maintain our position here in the top 5 until we get to pit stops, and then we can be a little more aggressive and see what the car's like at that point and try to challenge for the win. Got a rolling roadblock here in front of us, Saka on the inside and Larson on the outside, so we got a good drafting pull off of Larson coming off of 2 there. It's going to allow us to take a deep entrance into turn 3 and 4, which should give us a good run off, and indeed we do. We get a good pull off Larson out of 4 there, and we're able to clear Saka, so now we can just set our sights on Larson. Car wash is out just a little bit there. Saka out on the very outside line of the track there. That's one thing I do like about California, is it's nice and sweeping and wide, and you can pretty much drive whatever fits your style. Ooh, a little loose on entry there. You saw the steering wheel cut back to the right, had to counter steer just a tad. And Larson's coming up, but he's going to leave us enough gap here that we're going to get a run off of the corner, and I think lead this lap. Indeed we do. Alright, so we go to the front position, first position there. See if we can maintain that, drive it in deep here into 1, which we do. But anyways, yeah, going back to what I was saying, like, that's the good thing about California, is you could pretty much race it to whatever fits your style. If you want to enter in shallow and try to get a good drive off, that's a driving style that suits Saka more. or you could drive it in deeper and try to maintain that drive off of the corner. That's more of my driving style, or anything in between, really, whatever floats your boat. That's the cool thing about this track, is you can make different setups and driving styles work. So all right, that completes lap 7. We are doing a 25 lap race, so I would look to pit probably around lap 12 or 13, pending no caution flags. Obviously, if a caution comes out, we'll go ahead and come down for tires and fuel, especially if it's in our pit window. Got a really good gap here going back to second and third, so just gonna kind of maintain pace here. I'm not gonna push the car too much or chew up my tires, even though we're gonna, change those eventually during a pit stop. No point in really pressing the issue here. So completing lap 8. Looks like they are 3 wide behind us. Saka's down on the apron trying to get all that he can. Looks like he's going to clear the AI down into turn 1 there. So I assume he will probably be up here momentarily. Looks like he got a pretty good run off of turn 2 there. So probably see him up here in just a few seconds. But if you're new to the channel, first off, welcome. I do this series on a weekly basis with Saka. He will upload this video to his channel as well, albeit from his perspective. So wherever the Cup guys are racing, that's where we're racing that week. So pretty cool. We got all the mods, updated tracks, if there is an updated version. So I think this is actually the very stock track file that came with the original game, but still holds value, so we continue to use it. But for example, Atlanta and Las Vegas, we used upgraded or updated track files there, and ISM as well. So definitely a fun game, even 15 plus years later after it's came out. Still hell of a fun game. But yeah, so next week I believe we are off to Martinsville, if I remember the schedule correctly, and then I believe Texas is after that. So I do see Saka starting to creep in a little bit here behind me. I assume probably pitting here in the next couple laps, and we usually try to pit together. So he did pit in front of me. I'm sorry, he's qualified in front of me, so he will be pitting in front of me. So as it stands, if we were to enter pit road with me ahead of him, he would have to go around me to get to my box. But I qualified quite a bit further back than him, so shouldn't really be an issue. I'll be peeling off to my box way before he gets to his, so shouldn't be any issues there. So not a ton of banking at this track, but just enough to really let you, bury the car pretty deep in the corners, and that's kind of fits my driving style. I really like the corners, or the tracks that have those types of corners that'll really let you drive the car in deep. Your flatter tracks like Richmond, ISM, Martinsville, not really my favorite tracks, although I do okay at them. Just not my favorites, just because they don't really fit my driving style. And a lot of times I have to amend my driving style, which as you guys saw last week, if you saw my ISM race, it just doesn't really feel comfortable, especially last week, because at ISM that was a whole new track file, different grip, I think, in that track file, along with the setup that came with that track file. Just didn't fit me at all. So lucky to get out of there with the top 5 last weekend. But so far we got consecutive top 5s to start the 2019 season. So I believe I've got 3 wins now, 2 wins, 2 or 3, I can't remember. So we'll see what happens today. I know Saka's got 1 win at I believe it was Las Vegas, and then yeah, because he outdueled me with like 2 to go. Pretty exciting race, so go back and check that out. And here we come. We're going to take our green flag pit stops right here. So downshift, make sure you don't speed. Saka's closing the, oh my gosh, hold on. Alright, I downshifted too early there. That spun the car around. That's going to be a very costly mistake. Luckily, though, we didn't hit anything, and the tires don't matter because we're going to change those anyways. But as you can see, we have quite the gap to Saka there. So I downshifted too early there. The RPMs weren't down enough, so it caused the car to come around. So look for my pit box here. Pull in. And we're going to take 4 tires here. Although, I'm really tempted to take 2 right here. I'm going to go ahead and take 4. I'm not going to call an audible because with 2 tires, I definitely don't think there's any way I can make my way up to Saka. It's going to be challenging with 4, but I think it could be done. Pretty good charge out of the box there. It's something I've been meaning to improve on this season. The first 4 races so far have not been very aggressive getting out of the pit box, and it's cost me a little bit of time today. Not so bad. So we have to be careful here not to get in the grass, and definitely don't want to blend up on the track. You will be penalized for that, so got to be a little careful. Once we got out of that kink there, I was able to put the acceleration down. Car was pretty well planted, so off we go. We've got a pretty big deficit to make up here, as you can see, because I'm an idiot and can't enter the bits correctly. So here come the AI, so we're at least going to unlap ourselves here. But you can see Saka way up there, almost a whole front straightaway ahead of us. He's going into turn 1 already, and we're just now getting there now. So I'd say he's probably got a good 4 or 5 second lead on us. So question here is, do we put the hammer down and try to catch up to him and use up our tires, or just kind of wait and see how the AI shake off of pit road? Maybe he will come out in some of that lap traffic and struggle with that, and I can be a little more conservative on my tires. I want to save a little bit of my tires for the end of the race, just in case I am able to get up there, or he has an issue with lap traffic. I can still have a little bit of juice in the tank, if you will, the tank being my tires. So got about 9 laps here, so don't have a lot of time, honestly, to just dilly-dally around, and gonna have some AI cars in between us. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go all out here and put down the best laps that I can, because these laps are gonna click off pretty damn quick. So getting a draft off of Stenhouse here, duck to the inside, and go up the track a little bit so I can arc into the corner. Too much of a shallow entry there, which was still kind of a shallow entry, but too much of a shallow entry into the corner there will affect your ability to drive off with a decent speed. Next, looks like we got Kozlowski in front of us, so get a good draft off of him and really sail it into turn 3. So if I can get clear of Brad and Johnson here, that will put us, I believe, right behind Saka for position. These guys here are kind of stout. I'm not pulling up to them as quick as I did with Stenhouse, so this is going to see if I can dive it in deep here and clear them without washing up the track too much. And I was able to do that, so alright. Saka's there. Next car in front of us, so just need to hunt him down. We are gaining on him, surprisingly. He had a hell of a lead there, so I'm surprised that we've been able to close the gap to as much as we have. But nonetheless, he might be saving his tires, knowing that I was coming, and he's probably going to try to defend, obviously, with those fresher tires. He's kind of been able to sit out front and bide his time, so we'll see what we can do here. We are gaining on him a lot more than I thought we would. So us being in his draft, obviously, is helping us a bit as well. A little loose entry on there, but that's okay. Loose is fast. We were able to close up on Saka really well there. And again, we'll fire out of turn 4 and draft off of him, so that's going to pull us even closer to him. Alright, so now I can kind of bide time here. Back the tires down a little bit. Saka goes really wide there. I'm going to try to take advantage of this, see if I can get on his inside and drag race him down the backstretch here. So I don't know if his car just isn't performing to the standards that it should be, but I don't know. We got back to the lead here. I'm very surprised that I was able to hunt him down and get back to the lead. Although he's right there, so maybe he's just playing a cat and mouse game. We'll see. He's definitely not going away. Alright, so that basically leaves us 5 laps right there. That's their cue. We've got 5 laps to go. So go ahead and turn the wick up here a little bit, but I don't want to be so aggressive that put the car in a compromising position to where it wants to spin or overdrive the car or anything like that, or burn up the tires. But we do have to be somewhat aggressive here and try to maintain this position and get our next win of the season. I'm also going to try and keep Saka from drafting off of me. So you see me dip down to the bottom there, just trying to break that draft. Had to crack the throttle just a little bit there. Maintaining our gap back to Saka. So doing all right at the moment. Doing just a nice middle of the corner run there. Still maintaining that gap behind us. So 3 laps to go. And again, you know, key here I think is not to overdrive the corner. Saka made a little bit of ground up on us entry there. We'll see if he can maintain it with the drive off. See if he's just been saving his tires this whole time or what he's been doing. Definitely have to go back and watch this race from his perspective and see my big goof on pit road. That'll be a little bit embarrassing, but hey, you know what? If we can come back and win this thing, doesn't matter. Alright, I tried to shake Saka there on the front stretch as far as drafting goes, and he followed me everywhere I went. So he's going to try to go on our inside here, guys. He's got a run on the inside. My car is starting to give up a little bit on the tires, so we'll see what happens here. Got a good run off the corner. We're drag racing down the back stretch here, so I want to drive deep into 3 here, but not so much to where the car... Whoa, and Saka drifts up. Oh my gosh. I thought he was going to hit us there. I had to check up there a little bit. But we were able to clear him again. So here we come, guys. There's the white flag. So we've just got 1 lap remaining. The car has given up quite a bit as far as my tires go. So we'll see if we can do this. Just 1 more set of corners after we get off turn 2 here. Got a decent run off. Saka is there. I'm going to leave him the outside. If he wants to go around the outside, then all more power to him. But I think if I could stay on this lower line, I'm going to try to... Oh, the car's pushing. Oh! Oh, man. Ah! Didn't mean to get into Saka there. Where's the AI at? That was for the finish, guys. See if I can lock it down here to make sure no one plows into us. I think we won it. I am seeing that we did win it. I think Saka slid across the line with us, but I think we were the first one across the line. Oh, man. That was nuts. I don't know really what happened there. Saka had a good run on the outside, and next thing I know, we were making contact. Let's go back and look at that. Alright, so yeah, you can see here, Saka's got a good run on the outside, and I was just losing the nose of the car. I was drifting up. Oh, and Saka bounces off the wall and comes down. Okay, I see. So that makes a little bit more sense there. And then I just couldn't hang on to it. Well, certainly not the ending that I anticipated, spinning across the line like that, but I'm glad that we both were able to finish it. And apologies to Saka there. I think he probably would have had that one if we hadn't made contact there, but nonetheless, pretty exciting race. So, yeah. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Next week, we'll be at Martinsville, so probably try to upload that one as well. Those are usually a pretty good race for Saka and I, so look for that one following California here. But, leave me a note, subscribe. I'll link Saka's video in the box below. But, thanks for watching, and hopefully see you again in the future.